Today I'm unboxing 10 African fat-tailed geckos and I'm going to talk to you guys about their genetics. Let's start off with number 1. Okay, so this African fat-tailed gecko is a 0. Check that out. It is a striped 0. Now 0 is that basically when the bands kind of like connect and they form like one big kind of like blotch down the dorsal. And striped is another dominant gene that is self-explanatory. It's that stripe that runs down from the head down to the back, and some have them, some don't. There is no super form. It's just a stripe. Whenever you breed a stripe to a banded, you get pretty much about 50% striped, 50% banded. Okay, this one, let's see what is this one. Alrighty, this is another 0. This is the second 0, another striped 0. Just a beautiful little gecko right here. This one is actually a female and just awesome looking, just morph, as you can see. You guys know I'm starting to get into leopard geckos. I'm also getting into fat-tailed geckos. Now most of these will probably be available on the website. I still love them. A long time ago, think about like 8 years ago, we used to breed African fat-tails as well. I'm just catching the bug again, I guess. So this one here is actually, you know, ironically, it is a patternless whiteout striped. The stripe down the back, kind of like, if it didn't have that stripe, this animal would be patternless. But the whiteout just it gives it a bunch of blotching, kind of like across the body. I like to explain the whiteout kind of like the lily white in crested geckos, where it adds a bunch of white and cream and it also just whacks out the pattern a little bit. So this is a very beautiful little gecko here. This might be an Oreo too, I don't remember, I have to check. And the Oreo is basically an axanthic that has no yellow or red pigment. Now this one here is an Oreo Zulu, and it's also a whiteout, and check that out. The Zulu makes that band connect similar to a 0, but the Zulu is a recessive mutation, and I know that one of the ways to tell if your gecko is a Zulu or not is looking at the belly, and you could actually see some of those like different scalations that they have in the belly. But this is a Zulu. Very cool. I love these guys. Yeah, this is number 5. And this is, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. This is a whiteout Oreo, and it's also striped. Check it out. Striped whiteout Oreo. Now, the Oreo is the axanthic, basically. So it wipes out all the yellow or red coloration that the animal may have, and it leaves a basically black and white animal. The whiteout whacks out the pattern a little bit, whereas a normal African fat-tailed gecko will have these bands going across. The whiteout has a lot of blotches around the body, and then the striped is that stripe going down the back. Alright, beautiful girl. I love this one. This one's really nice. I remember the whiteout Oreos were actually some of my favorites back in the day when I used to breed them. Alright, so that's that girl. She's really nice. This next one is, if I made a mistake during it's been a long time since I do African fat-tails, so if I made a mistake, I will surely put the correct genetics down here below. This one is a whiteout striped. I don't know what else it is. I'm gonna have to double check for you guys because I do not know. It is definitely a whiteout, and it's definitely a striped, and a lot of these animals are het for something. I just don't know off the top of my head. I have to look back at the listing. Alright, so that's that one there. This next one, okay, this is one morph that I've actually never had before. So this is the first one that we get here at TikisGeckos, and this is a ghost. Okay, so a ghost is basically like a hypo. As you can see, this is a male ghost. And one thing I learned recently about the ghost is that the females are infertile. So this visual male, you would want to breed to het females if you wanted to produce more ghosts. And this guy is a whiteout. Definitely a male. Just like other geckos, you could sex these guys by the little hemipenal bulges down the on the base of the tail there. But you know, one thing about African fat-tailed geckos that I love is that every single one of them are this tame and cute. None of them are aggressive. A leopard gecko this size might scream at you, might try to bite you or run away from you. African fat-tails, from the moment they're born, they're just like super tame. So let's go to the next one. So that's 7. This is another patternless, but this one is not a whiteout. This is an Oreo patternless. Okay, wait, maybe? No, I don't remember. Anyways, this is definitely an Oreo and definitely a patternless and definitely a striped. I believe this is a whiteout, but I do have to do some brushing up on my African fat-tailed geckos. So awesome though. I love these morphs. My favorite thing about breeding geckos is all the different morphs and all the different flavors they come in. Okay, this one is a very beautiful example of a whiteout Oreo. This is not striped, as you can see. Is this like the only not striped gecko that came in this box? Maybe. But this is not striped. It doesn't have that stripe down the back. And you can see the bands are a little whacked out. That's from the whiteout, okay? The whiteout also cleans up the white pattern on them, and it makes it just look that much more contrasty. Very nice. Beautiful little gecko here. Whiteout Oreo, and an Oreo is a recessive trait. The whiteout is an incomplete dominant, but the super form it's lethal, I believe. Yeah, so you don't want to breed whiteout to whiteout. You only want to breed one whiteout to normals, because you will get bad geckos if you breed whiteout to whiteout. Okay, now this last one, another Oreo patternless striped. There's only one whiteout and the other two were just regular patternless. So this might be the whiteout and the other two might have been the regular patternless striped. But check this one out. I know patternless is not the best way to describe them, but they should just call them bandless. Bandless African fat-tailed geckos. Beautiful gecko. So that is all 10 that came in today. I have to set these guys up, but I did want to show you some other morph combinations that we already have here because they're just as cool. I think African fat-tails for the longest time were super expensive. Now it's more reasonable, so it leaves a lot more people to be able to come in and get them and breed them. And honestly, they're a great animal. They make great pets, super friendly and docile. They'll never bite you. And you know, just the variety of colors and patterns there's just something for everybody out there. So let me show you the other ones we got here. Alright, so this little one here is an Oreo Zulu. As you can see, the Oreo makes the animal black and white, and that is a recessive mutation. And then the Zulu is also a recessive mutation, and it makes those bands kind of like connect and go from the head down to the tail base. Very cool little mutation here. Recessive mutations, if you breed to normal geckos, they will all the offspring from a recessive mutation to a normal gecko carry the gene, but they won't display the gene. Meaning, if I breed this one to a bunch of normal animals, all the geckos that come out from that pair are going to look normal, but they're all going to carry the ingredients or the genetics to produce more Oreo Zulus. They're all going to be 100% Oreo Zulu. Now this little one is a regular Oreo Zulu. Now I'm going to show you a completely different mutation called an amelanistic, aka albino. Now these two little ones are both amelanistic, meaning that they're albinos. Amelanin, meaning they lack melanin. These two don't have any melanin, they're albinos. They're both whiteouts. As you can see, the one here on my left hand is actually a tangerine albino or tangerine amel, and this one's more of like a regular amel. They're both striped whiteout animals as well, and you can see with selective breeding you could really get some really bright colors on these albinos. They're some of my favorites, and the whiteout amels are just to die for. They're just so beautiful. So check that out. One of the most common mutations, the amelanistic African fat-tailed geckos.